सर्वे समुद्राः सरितस्थितानि जलदान दाः आयन्तु देव पूजार्थं दुरति शयत्रार्थः।
Much more than the normal rainfall, leading to heavy floods, particularly in Ganga and Brahmaputra rivers. Flood damages, which were 52 crore rupees in 1953, have gone up to 5,846 crore rupees in 1998. At the same time, some other parts received less than the normal rainfall, leading to droughts. The water availability, even for drinking purposes, becomes critical, particularly in the summer months as the rivers dry up and the groundwater recedes. Moreover, groundwater is location-specific, non-transferable, and unevenly distributed. The total water availability is 4,000 billion cubic meter, of which 1,869 billion cubic meter is available as runoff. Of this, 1,122 billion cubic meter is utilizable. Irrigation using river water and groundwater has been the prime factor for raising the food grain production in our country. Irrigated area has increased from 22 million hectares to 95 million hectares during this period. The population of India is expected to increase to 1,500 to 1,800 million in the year 2050. And that would require about 450 million tons of food grains. For meeting this requirement, it would be necessary to increase irrigation potential to 160 million hectares for all crops by 2050. For attaining a potential of 160 million hectares, other strategies have to be evolved. Interlinking of our rivers to transfer flood water from the surplus rivers to deficit areas is one of the most effective ways to increase the irrigation potential for increasing the food grain production, mitigate floods and droughts, and reduce regional imbalance in the availability of water. Brahmaputra, the northern tributaries of Ganga, Mahanadi, Godavari, and west-flowing rivers originating from the Western Ghats are found to be surplus in water resources. If we can build storage reservoirs on these rivers and connect them to other parts of the country, regional imbalances could be reduced significantly. In 1980, Union Ministry of Water Resources formulated a national perspective plan for interlinking of rivers, envisaging transfer of flood waters from surplus basins to deficit basins in areas. The National Water Development Agency, set up in 1982, is pursuing the proposals of the National Perspective Plan to give a concrete shape to the inter-basin water transfer link schemes and prepare their feasibility reports. Under the National Perspective Plan, 3 major links are suggested. First major link is the southern water grid interlinking Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Pennar, Kaveri and Vagai in the peninsular India to transfer surplus flood waters of Mahanadi and Godavari to deficit areas. The other 2 links are the northern links, interlinking Brahmaputra with Ganga, Subarnarekha and Mahanadi to transfer surplus water of Brahmaputra to benefit areas in Assam, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand and Orissa. Interlinking Gandhak, Ghagra, Sarda and Yamuna, all tributaries of Ganga, on to Rajasthan and Sabarmati to transfer the surplus waters of Gandhak and Ghagra rivers to benefit areas in Uttar Pradesh, Uttaranchal, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Bihar and Jharkhand. Ultimately, the Himalayan linkages from Brahmaputra to Ganga would be integrated with the peninsular link from Mahanadi to Vagai. Large dams and canal systems are proposed to be constructed to store and transfer flood waters of the surplus rivers. Apart from the 3 major links, a number of minor links are also proposed, transferring surplus waters of Kosi to Mechi in the east and Ghagra in the west, transferring water from Ken River to Betwa River, interlinking Parbati, Kali Sindh and Chambal rivers, interlinking of west-flowing rivers north of Mumbai and south of Tapi, transferring water from west-flowing rivers of Western Ghats to the east. Interlinking of rivers would greatly reduce the regional imbalance in the availability of water in the different river basins. Surplus flood waters, which are flowing waste to the sea, would be fruitfully utilized. It is assessed that it will provide additional irrigation benefit to 35 million hectare, over and above the ultimate irrigation potential of 140 million hectare envisaged from the conventional irrigation projects. Construction of storage dams, as proposed, will reduce the severity of floods considerably. The benefits of drought mitigation from inter-basin water transfers will accrue to an area of approximately 25 lakh hectare in the states of West Bengal, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Huge hydropower could also be generated by the storage dams proposed under interlinking of rivers. The total hydropower potential of the interlinking systems will be 34,000 megawatt. The environment will also be greatly enriched by maintaining minimum flows in the rivers throughout the year. Future requirements of cities and villages will be supplemented by inter-basin transfer of water. It can be summed up that for a long-term solution to the problem of water scarcity and surpluses, storage and transfer of flood waters are indeed the only viable alternatives for the nation. The scheme is technically feasible. This will be a phenomenal project to unite the people of the country and provide an impetus of growth and development.
कहीं प्रलय सा रूप बाढ़ का, कहीं फटा धरती का सीना। रूप ये कैसा, कोप ये कैसा, पानी बिन जीवन है सूना। कहाँ कमी है, कहाँ अधिक है, समय दिशा मानव ने जानी। अब निकलेंगी राहें ऐसी, सबको पहुँचेगा ये पानी, सबको पहुँचेगा ये पानी।